Okay, next step in this nutty little extravaganza is the plumbing. I've decided that the safest and sanest place to put the fuel outlet is on the top. My original thought, of course, was to put it on the bottom somewhere, make it nice and simple, just put a fitting in there, hook up the hose, and away we go. However, there's no real safe place to put it. Even if I locate it in a place that's safe on the tractor, when I go to take it out, now I've got this fitting in a place that's, destined to get hurt somewhere. So we're going to drill and tap a hole in the top here and put the fuel fitting there. Now, we can drill a hole in there, but how do we get the fuel up to the fitting? And the answer is with the draw tube. So I've got a length of steel brake line here, 5/16 diameter, and what I did, I'll just bring this in close to the camera, is I soldered a fitting to it, and I've just created a draw tube. I've cut the bottom off on a bit of an angle so it can be close to the bottom of the tank without sucking to the bottom of the tank. And we're going to drill and tap the hole and just drop this thing right in, and that'll be the fuel draw tube. Okay, now seems like a pretty good time to start taking the existing fuel system apart, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Apparently that shutoff valve doesn't work with this shit. Alrighty. I don't know if you can see this. All the crap in there. This just, look at that. It's a frickin' fly. There's a fly in my fuel filter. Anyways, just goes to show you that no matter how clean your tank is and your lines and everything else, there's quite often crap floating around in your jerry can, and this is why it's critical to use a fuel filter. Like no damn wonder that we've got to clean out carburetors. Look at that. Wow. We're just going to run that back into the can. Okay, I think we've actually reached a state of emptiness, or close anyways. Gotta scrap a line off. Close up the can. We got our vent line here. I just closed this fuel valve, I don't know why, it's kind of pointless. Anyways, we're going to undo the bracket. I love this particular type of hose clamp. You don't have to go all the way in and all the way out. Just loosen it, flip, and away you go. Tightening it is the reverse. You just put it on, tight as you can by hand, clip it closed, and then screw it closed. They're beautiful. Anyways, we'll just take that out of there. And as you can see, I never did really finish the install here. I could probably break that out. I could probably not break that. Okay, they're good tack welds. We'll cut that after. Okay, so I've routed the fuel line down below, along the frame rail, and comes up under the back here. I'm just going to throw a couple of zip ties here and there to keep it out of harm's way and cut it to length. And over here you see the heat gun in the gas tank. After the drilling and, you know, surface rust and stuff that was in there from it sitting for several years, I put about a gallon of water and a big fistful of clean 3/4 inch gravel in there and shook the crap out of it to try and get as much gunge out of the tank as possible. Rinsed it liberally with water, and now I'm just trying to speed dry it as fast as possible to cut down on new surface rust reforming. And after that's done, I'll screw the fittings in. We want a good seal on these fuel fittings. I mean, for the obvious reasons, you know, fuel leakage, blah 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 blah. But the thing is, when you're pumping or gravity feeding fuel through a system, any potential leaking point that air can pass through becomes a leak. Fuel will dribble out of that leak. When you're drawing fuel through a system and you're relying on vacuum created by whatever means to draw that fuel through, any potential leak source where it's not airtight becomes a vacuum leak, essentially. So you're not going to draw the fuel up as efficiently as you want to or need to. In some circumstances that can lead to the engine running like junk, or sometimes not even running at all. In the case of a two-stroke, you can actually blow your engine up doing that. Leans out the mixture really badly, she overheats, and the next thing you know, you've melted a piston. And that's just no damn good. So Murphy's Law does indeed dictate that when you're doing something, something's going to go wrong. So anticipating that something was going to go wrong, I figured, you know what, I'm just going to get the fittings and hoses in there loosely, and I'm not going to bother zip tying anything, and just put it together and take it for a run and just make sure everything's good, because I don't want to go through all the trouble of getting everything all purty and, you know, get it set up to go and zip ties and blah 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 blah, and then something goes wrong and the damn thing doesn't run and I got to rip it all out again. So I put it all together and I fired the dang thing up. And she actually started up pretty easily. It was pumping fuel, everything was good. I took it for a little test run, and wouldn't you know it, yeah, that's right, the segment didn't save. Stupid camera. anyhow, I think we're going to go ahead and call that a win. We've got a high capacity 5-gallon removable fuel tank. And thanks for watching. There will be more to follow.